Hello and welcome back to our Survival Let's Play. This is episode 120 and we are in No Man's Land. We've continued straight on from the last video, so it's only 25 to 11 in the morning. There's a few things we need to get done before we can skip through, basically. We'll skip through into October. The first thing we need to do is we want to go and get some sugar beet in the ground over at the field behind our grass field. So we're going to go around there. I'm trying, because I'm not sure how much it actually affects it, but I'm trying not to drive over our fields if we don't have to, because of compaction. I know I read something before about compaction being a thing on precision farming, but I would have to look into it to see what sort of how much of a I can't even think of the word, how much of an impact it has. Impact still wasn't the word I wanted, but it's the word we're going to get. Now I know there's no point in doing it all the way to the end there, because it's not my land. So if I go there, and go that much, then everything we're planting here should be good. Well, it would be if I didn't crash into some trees. The other things we need to do is we need to get all that straw up off the field, the barley field that we harvested in yesterday's video. A lot of that, if I can get it, will just go into the BGA, because we've still got absolutely tons in the manure factory that isn't even processed yet. So yeah, a lot of that will just go into there. We need to then turn that field around and get a new crop in it, which I haven't decided what crop it's going to be yet. We'll have a look, see what's planted. I imagine, seeing as we put a barley field in last time, I imagine it'll be some sort of oil based product, but we shall see. There's some of this that goes into a high seed rate, isn't there? We could probably manage our fields a little bit better, to be honest, with regards to, well, I'll show you, it'll be easy just to go on. With regards to soil type, so here most of this field is silty clay, which is an absolute nightmare. We get the worst yield from it, it's the highest seed rate as well. Same as half of that is silty clay. The grass field I'm not that concerned about, but I mean that field and that field, they're both our arable fields, and the rest of them, you've got the same here. I mean, a lot of these, this is our olive growth here. How much that's affected by, I'm not sure, because as I've been told before, olives and grapes aren't affected by precision farming, so they might actually be alright. Although some of this is our cornfields at the minute on. In fact, it's there, because I think it's in line with that, and down there, and they're all olives. So there's probably things we could do a little bit better. Our environmental scores actually dropped by 2. I think that's because since we harvested that field, the pH level has gone down now, so I think a lot of the fields we're going to have to start liming again. I mentioned it, didn't I, a couple of episodes ago. I think it's the same in Westbridge Hills actually, although we don't have as many fields in Westbridge. But yeah, we'll need to get that done. We'll need to look to see whether we're going to carry on planting here. I mean, with this, I do this at the minute purely to put the crop through the BGA, because you get a lot from very little if you're planting sugar beet. However, I could do with maybe putting some more through the all-in-one production, because I think that's run out now. And although we've got loads, like nearly 100,000 litres worth of sugar beet in the smaller production, it's stuck in there and it's not producing sugar sort of at the rate what we need it, so we can't just solely rely on that. But we'll have to see what happens. We've got a field of sugar beet that'll be ready either next month or certainly the month after, which is our original field, our field number 1. Do you know, I was talking about pH level, I still didn't put any down on here, did I? We'll have to remember to roll it though. I might do that towards the end of the video. Almost done. We've got another 1 or 2. 2. Right. And hopefully it's going to be wide enough or not. Just absolute tiny little bit. Which I now can't see. There it is. Fantastic. Get that switched off. We'll take this back over to our farm. Grass is, what do we think, a month away, so next month we should be able to cut again, I think. Let's have a look. If it says ready to harvest, then it is. It's a month away. Yeah, it is. And then this is the field here that we're going to get the straw up now. I'm not gonna keep it on for the full time. I'm not gonna keep recording for the full time that we're picking straw up, because I mean that would just be I think it'd be pointless. But we will start it. Nip over here. Tell you what we'll do, because we don't actually use this little space. I need to find a use for this. Whether we just, I was going to say concrete over it or gravel over it and just make a bit of a hard standing, but we could do with doing something with it, because we used to, if you remember, the first, it's around the other side, the first animal enclosure that we had was chickens. There was a really small chicken enclosure there. But as we grew, it wasn't producing. Well, it was producing, it was just producing really slowly. I mean, it's probably producing at the same rate, given the same amount of feed as what others ones were, but because it was so small and it only held about 40 chickens, it wasn't giving us much at all. Right, I think we'll go left. And around the back side of these trees, and then we'll get started from down here. Okie doke. And away we go. Like I said, most of this, whatever we can fit into the BGA, we'll do that. Even if we have to speed time up a little bit, I'll do that. I don't mind doing it, just to get more in. Because other than we've got this to do, I'd like to cut some of them trees down to get up to the sawmill in this episode. And and then turn this field over, and there's not that much more to do. We'll probably have to see the animals. The sheep will need feeding, I would have thought. If we're going into another month, we'd probably have to feed the cows as well. Certainly the open pasture we will. The enclosed pasture, I think, has still got But even when it runs out of its TMR, it's still got 12,000 litres of forage to get through. So with them still being calves, I'll just let them munch the way through that before we start mixing any more TMR up. Which, I mean, even the TMR to us now, it's no hardship. We've got plenty of everything that we need. But if they've got that 12,000 litres of forage, we might as well just get it used up. I'm still not sure exactly when they start producing milk, whether it's 6 months or 12 months. I can't remember when the other lot started producing it. I know it was a bit of a shock. I remember at the time seeing that we had milk, and I was really surprised. So I'm hoping that was the 6 month mark, because if it is, then they'll start producing milk in October. Which will be much needed as well, seeing as we go through absolutely loads of it up at the production site. Okay, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to carry on doing this. We're going to jump. We'll get as much in the BJ as possible, and we'll come back close to the end. In fact, I might even turn the field over before we come back as well. So, on the plan. So we're back on. We have took up pretty much every bit of straw. There is some left there. However, at the time there was no room left in the forage wagon. That's parked up just in front of the BJ, and we've hit the maximum on that. So we left that bit of straw in there. While we've been off, we've put an absolute ton of lime down. So much. The field, I couldn't even get a full length of the field without running out. It's not that it took ages. It did take ages because I had to go and refill constantly. But it took so much lime. Let's see is it at perfect now? It should be. Yeah, it's at perfect now. I don't know what it was beforehand though, but yeah, it took so much. What we've done as well, in fact I'll stop again and show you. There was something in the used machinery that I think it was on the last episode that I said I wasn't interested in. Well, we've actually went and bought it. Where is it? It will be under fertilizer spreaders. So it's this here. We spent 14,900 on it. It's got an 8,000 litre capacity, and it spreads lime as well. 24 metre. Ooh, I've had to get that off. Just put it on a worker. 24 metre working width. The working width wasn't the issue with it really. It carries 8,000 litres of lime. That was the important thing. What we'll do as well at some point, the smaller bits of equipment that we've got, we'll take up and we'll just sell. We'll get rid of, because it's just cluttering the farm up, and the stuff that we just don't need anymore. And I think in general, I think this will start us replacing some of our smaller equipment. The stuff that we just can't get away with anymore because it's just, we need bigger basically. I'm thinking of the lime spreader, that was one. I'm thinking of the cultivator. We haven't had to cultivate this field because we've got a direct drill, but even this direct drill, I'm thinking I'd like a larger one. Even if I would like to keep the ability to direct drill rather than cultivate and then drill, because it helps with the environmental score, doesn't it? But when we're planting things like, obviously we do sunflowers a lot, because we need to keep it going for the oil. We've started doing corn. Today we've just done sugar beet, stuff like that. We still need to cultivate and plough. We need bigger equipment. Just simple as, basically. I'm even thinking about maybe investing in a spot sprayer to help with the environmental score again. Obviously I know herbicide costs money, and at the minute we don't we? Oh my god, tiny little bit. We use the mechanical weeder, which is really good. It didn't cost us much money. It's not really small, but at the same time it's also not massive. I think if we invest in a spot sprayer, it'll make life so much easier, because we're at the point now where our farm it's grown well beyond what I thought it would. I know we're 120 episodes in. We've got over 400 hours on this map. I think before I came on here, or it might have been before I came on the last episode, I can't remember, we had 404 hours on. So, I mean, we've put the time into it, but I think some of our equipment's just a little bit outdated compared to what we've got now. And I think we can do things quicker and more efficient if we spend the money and put it into new kit. And that new kit, I know I was close to buying the fast track in the last episode, and if it wasn't for the forage wagon needing more horsepower to it, I would have definitely spent the money. But I'm really glad I didn't now, because yeah, I know where we need to focus, and that is definitely upgrading our kit. If a more powerful tractor comes up and we've got the money for it, we'll spend it. But at the minute, we will not be doing that. What was in? There was in something. Oh, it was a seeder. Small seeder. We don't need that. So, what do we need to do? We need to roll this field. We need to roll. We need to roll the sugar beet field. We'll need to put some fertilizer down on this one as well. Which, of course, well, I say of course, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but it will be manure. Because we have the ability now, don't we? That we've got a solid fertilizer spreader. When I'm saying stuff like that, I'm kind of reminding myself, because it's been, like I said, it's been ages since I've been on this map, and everything else I did previously recording was on Westbridge Hills, so I'm sort of reminding myself when I'm saying that. Right, all done. The rolling, like I said, I might just do off camera, because you've seen us roll fields many a time. It's not the most glamorous job, is it? Let's get the muck spreader instead. Talking about glamorous jobs, let's get some muck. Let's get this. I knew it wasn't full. What we'll do as well is we'll fill up while we're here, before we run out. I mean, even the muck spreader, if I can afford a bigger one, I'll buy a bigger one, because we I mean, we've used this so much, haven't we? I wonder how many hours we've got on here. Let's have a look quickly. See how many hours we've got on this spreader. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? There we are. Manure spreaders. Does it give hours? Can I see how? Why can't it? Oh, 18.3. 18.3 hours. And when you think that's just in use as well, we've spent. I mean, we couldn't have, I think, grown as quickly as what we had without a bit of kit like this and that manure factory, which I maintain is the best mod in the game. Do you know what? That's not going down as quick as what I thought it would. Did I even say what I know you'll have seen. Did I even mention what crop we put in there? We put oats in there. We haven't got an oat field going at the minute. We're actually out of oats in the silo, and we make the oat drinks, don't we? Which I think they've probably got quite a bit in at the minute, but when they do run out, we've got nothing to put back in it. We did do an oat field, didn't we? The field that's got our second olive groves in there. We did all that as oats, but I think didn't we put it all into the all-in-one production for flour? I seem to remember. Right, I will jump again. I'll get, well, pretty much the majority of this done, and then we shall come back. Right, because I've moved into the next actual day, not the next in-game day, like, it's the next day for me. I can't really remember where we left off. I know we were doing some muck spreading, weren't we? Did we finish the muck spreading? Or have you come back onto the roll? And I can't remember. I ended up last night after I recorded the first bit. I ended up going back on Attingham and start. Well, just carry on trying to set that map up, which I'm nearly finished. Like, I'm really close. So, yeah, if you didn't anyway, we put the muck down on this field, and then we rolled the small one, the small sugar beet field over past our grass field there, and then we've just about rolled this one as well. In the meantime, also I've went, you can't see it up there, but the McCormick is up there, hooked up to flatbed trailer, and I've cut a couple of trees down. We're going to take them up to the sawmill so we can actually start producing pallets again, because we've hardly done any, just because we haven't managed to cut the trees down. I said months and months ago, didn't I? I wanted a more efficient way of doing it, a quicker way of doing it, and then we'll do loads. But I just haven't got that way of doing it yet, without spending the best part of 450 grand. I can't see how I can do that either. There's no mods that I can see that would help with that. Just one little bit there and then all done. Okie doke. Right, let's get that up. Is this the same one that I've got in... Oh, the one I had. Did I? I was going to say, did I have this in Attingham last year, but we didn't roll last year, did we? I can't remember. Can't remember. Unless I've... Alright, I thought the McCormack was up there. I must have took it round. I might have just used this roller while I was setting Attingham up. Right, we're probably going to have to feed them cows before we go off. Yeah, there's the McCormack up there. So there's only 2 trees on there, but it'll be enough to get started. We're probably, to be honest, going to finish it just after it. We'll go up here, we'll see if any of the productions need any care to them, and then I think we will finish it, because we were only on something like 21 minutes when we finished recording last time, I think. So it'll give us a bit of a shorter episode for a change. And other than mixing some TMR up and putting some hay into the sheep. There's nothing else for us to do in this in-game day. Whereas there's tons to do when it clicks into October. It looks like we've got at least 4 fields to harvest. It looks like possibly the olives will be ready as well. So it looks like October's going to be a really busy month. Right, let's see if we can find the thing. What seems to change every time I come on. Oh, every time. There we go. I've got the field window turned off. Right. So we've now got just over 6,000 litres. That'll do for that. Moving and fine there. We need butter, don't we? We're desperate for butter. In this one. That donut factory we just haven't kept going at all, have we, this past month? I mean, we've got loads, and we're going to make a fortune when it comes to December. But this particular month, or probably last month, we just haven't got the products to keep it going, which is a shame. So, I mean, I'd love it. I would love it, but nearly 300 grand. It's not going to happen. That's what we've got in Westbridge, isn't it? The X9. It might not be that particular model, but it is an X9. Okay, I was just looking to see if there was any decent bits of kit that we could upgrade ours with. In the next episode, that's what we're going to start looking at. I know we're going to be busy anyway, I've just said, but we're going to look at maybe new planters, new seeders, cultivators, anything to start making our life a bit easier, I think. Because, like I said, the farm's getting massive now, and it's a bit more difficult to manage. But we will leave it there, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.